15, 11 for fixed, 15 for not. And that's about it, I guess.
So we're not mailing out the notice just to save the expense of doing that.
Yeah,
And people that have a
definitely.
dog should, so maybe we should put a thing in front porch for them and.
I think that would be great too, and maybe, and if Martha could definitely say something in the paper. I did include it on my Friday email. And I'll do that again several times until then, so.
And that's due April 1st, no fooling.
Correct.
Okay.
No fooling.
Would it maybe be worth posting something up at the post office?
Definitely, and that's a good
Yeah.
idea. I made it full sign before. Yep, I'll do that too.
Maybe,
Yeah.
or you can get around a little more.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
I know I'm one that drags my feet on that every year, so,
Yeah.
and I get a notice in the mail.
It's all good. Yep.
So again, with the help of Two Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Commission, we have our local hazard mitigation plan for the 2025 that we have here, not to adopt tonight, but to review. And I think that's it definitely needs a little bit of reviewing. I just, in the brief look I took at it, I found a bunch of incomplete sentences and awkward statements, and mostly in the description of our town.
Oh.
The body of it with is like, you know, the meat of the topic they have down. I think a lot of it is boilerplate, but in talking about our town, they have a few nothing outright wrong, but if someone reading it, they're going to be saying like, who learned grammar here? Yeah. So we'll I guess we should all look at that and come back with any corrections and updates to that. So in fact, I have my list of.
Are we gonna get paper copies to mark up, or will that?
I think that
I have one if you want. Or that's printed. I think I might have two.
is mine.
And Megan also was gonna be present, but I guess maybe, we'll watch for her. She may get on later.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I do know too, Chad and whoever, that she'll send around like a live link or whatever to the document, and then you can like make updates right there on the spreadsheet.
Document.
On the
Okay.
document
Yeah.
itself. Yeah, she's very fond of that.
Mhm.
And then she can, she'll update it from your note,
Yeah.
because it's like or you can write in and
Yeah.
put in your notes and then,
So maybe we could reach out to Megan as follow-up if she doesn't come on, and just ask, like, maybe she could send it around to the board and they could use some edits too, you think? I'll watch for her.
All right. We have the certificate of highway mileage, which goes to the state, and this is a lot of how they justify and determine how much money to kick in to help us in supporting our roads. And I don't know if you got a chance to look at this, or it's probably the same. I don't think we changed any.
yeah, there's
There's a change.
Yep, there's a change off of State Garage Road. At 0.03 miles has been taken off of the total amount.
So it's not going to be a significant
No.
change in it. Yeah. Right.
And that was the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of that came through.
There's an issue about Jones Mountain, but it's not resolved yet.
And that has to
Yeah.
go through like the whole process, so.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I would move to approve.
I can second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I think that needs,
18.
on that. And then we come to the purchase and sales contract with the Rochester Stockbridge Unified School District about the high school building. This which was approved at the vote in November, and we've gone through this a few times and run it by lawyers on both sides of the deal, and it seems to be pretty tight and right. So
It was larger than it's condensed, and it
Yep.
is straightforward now.
straightforward, and that still ended up with what 3,
just about
4.
boilerplate
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess that is, no, I guess we've already approved it because the town voted for it, so we're just gonna sign it.
Mhm.
Yep. Is that?
We don't have to pay the dollar till July 1st.
Cash. Check.
I have a dollar.
I think it has to be a check, because we
Yeah,
need a
it
paper
says
trail.
in the contract, it's supposed to be a bank check for a dollar.
And then we have, next on deck is, approving and signing the Community Development Block Grant, pre-application for the repurposed high school.
I don't know that you need to sign it. I don't see
Okay.
a signature line on it.
There's something on the very back.
On that one.
Is it on this one? Maybe not.
It's the
It's
pre-application.
a pre-application.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had Sarah rate, review it. I'm gonna have one more person review it just to make sure it's tight, but she thinks it's fine as it is.
Mhm.
And so there's a copy for you.
Okay,
And I don't think you need to sign it, but you do need to approve of the fact that I'm gonna submit it because it's due by January 22nd.
yeah,
And I
Tonight's the
have to
night.
meet that deadline.
you wanna look at that? Ann?
And this is a grant in the amount of $1 million.
Pardon?
Is this the grant for 1 million? Yep.
Well, this will be ultimately,
This is the pre-application.
As of this year, they're requiring the pre-application, and then there'll be a lot of discussions with Nathan Cleveland about various things.
Mhm.
And I'm happy to discuss that with you at another night or
Yeah,
another
we
time.
will.
Just basically, here's an email I got from Sarah that basically told me that, oh, I guess I didn't bring that.
I think I
thought I did.
have it
Here it
on
is.
mine.
What Nathan's gonna
Theirs is in
want
blue.
from me.
Yeah.
Discussions.
Maybe.
Clarify some logistical questions with Sarah, and he wants to schedule a pre-application meeting as soon as we submit that. That will be more in-depth than usual. He wants to review all the procurement, procedural requirements that will be important to the project team to be aware of, and sort of be there as a support as we craft the application. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's a very competitive field right now. And we applied last year and we didn't, and they said, don't make us reject this, go back and get a stronger application completed. So that's what we did. There's a lot that we have now completed, including that FEMA standard certification of the floodplain. And got the architects on board. They're in the process right now of meeting with the tenants and designing, and they know that we have an April 8th deadline to, so for this application. So there's a lot more tension right now in terms of what needs to be done, but it seems that everything is in a forward motion and going along. And I have to say, it's been nice working with Kelly from the architectural firm.
And you have the Du Bois and King floodplain thing that's
Yeah, I sent
in the
it to
final
Julie.
process for
I
the
sent that to
certificate.
Julie. That's all completed. They released the certification.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that triggered a whole other thing with CDS today, where they needed the assessment of the property, and I thought that was gonna put us down another rabbit hole. But they have accepted what the town office had on record. And so, thank you, Julie. This is what that was, just FYI. I have to say, working with Julie and Kristen is a real gift.
Same.
yes,
We know that.
yeah. So, I'd like to make a motion to approve the
Approve the pre-application.
pre-application.
I second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right. Don't have anyone on Zoom from the library?
Nope.
John, thanks for coming in tonight and get a little break.
Really,
No,
doing the same thing day in.
same thing
out.
day out. Yep.
We got more sand coming.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're gonna do the same thing day in, day out for
Yeah.
about the next week and a half.
Had a little incident with the pickup truck. I see an insurance claim, so I just thought I'd ask.
That is at Charlie Boys right now to get the frame straightened temporarily.
The plow frame,
No.
the
The
truck frame,
truck frame.
okay,
And then the insurance company has agreed to put a new frame under the truck next summer.
Really?
good for
Cool.
them. Yep, that's what they're there for.
Boy, they don't make them like they used to though, do they?
This the new truck? Well, it's,
Uh-huh.
it been in the crumple zone,
Mhm.
so if you straighten it, it's gonna be weak there.
Yeah.
And if you plate it to make it not weak there, then you don't have a crumple zone.
No.
So it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Responsible
Right.
for that.
No.
And the insurance company agreed.
All right.
That's all in
And which truck is this?
the new truck.
The new-
Okay. So we can't say it was rust.
It's the Charlie Boys, so made me question which truck.
All right. No,
That made me feel.
Sorry about that.
yeah. All right, well, onward, huh?
That's our life right now.
Yeah,
Work in the morning, put stuff back together in the afternoon.
I hear it's gonna get warmer in June.
In June.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Good.
good.
good. Terry, you got anything for us tonight?
Well, I'd like to talk about the cafe, doing 2 more apartments over there and having quiet drain sewer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need to keep track of that a lot closer because, you know, they put in apartments before there and haven't applied either. And even the porch, when that was added on, they added more seating,
Mm-hmm.
which should have been change of use and applied for a sewer permit. Right now, we're kind of in violation over in that building as far as the state looks at. So we really need to get on this and, you know, they should be paying hookup fees. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you had to go through it.
Yep,
I've got to call in to Dane.
Yep.
To get clarification. Also, he would need to have some
Because
involvement
I'd
with
be
the
really
fire
surprised they got
marshal as
enough
well.
water going in there to supply it.
Hmm.
It's only a 3/4 line going in that place.
you could maybe make a call to Anna Isaacson too.
Mhm.
She's kind of
Yep, I got her
managing
email
that
as well.
building, yeah.
But you need to stay on top of that. I mean, you got one sewer that's 42 years old and you got one that's 25 years old and you got another one that's 5 and that one that's 5, you can't. It's a moratorium on that. It's been that way for years. Can't add anything. And the other ones, we gotta get permission from the state.
And when a commercial property like that they have to file for a state permit when they do any remodeling, right? Do we get a
As
copy of
well as the
that?
fire marshal.
Right, well, the fire marshal from my
Fire marshal's
understanding.
not gonna deal with sewer though.
No,
Right,
No,
no,
but this permit has to be filed with the state. Do we get a physical copy of that? Being that it's in town?
no.
Should.
you should, but I don't know if we do.
I don't think I've seen one ever come through my
No.
desk.
Because it seems like this should have come up.
The fire marshal won't send it to you. It's up to the people that gets it, to get it to
Oh, okay,
To
the
have,
planning board should ask for it.
okay. So there's no real reciprocity
The-
through that.
What we really should have is an
The
occupancy
permit,
permit.
And the permit gets posted on the job site, just like any other building permit is supposed to be.
Right,
There's
We're
one
behind
at the Red
time.
Barn and
because
there's
of
one
that
at
occupancy
Marvin's
permit.
Bean House.
That would take care of all that.
Well, that's why I was asking, is I would think that would just get kind of automatically forwarded to the town if there's a permit filed
Well,
for
that
a
would
commercial
trigger
property.
Our asking for a building permit before he hasn't filed with the town.
Right. So,
Mm.
that's-
I mean, I've had people say that they got their building permit from Great Hawk. They didn't know they needed one from the town too.
well, yeah, that's another,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we can call in the planning board in general,
Right,
get involved in all the aspects of it.
Now, it's going to be interesting to do the reassessment and bring to light a few things, maybe not so much in the village, but around through town that
Mhm.
that have evolved unofficially.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll rattle some there.
Well, I think we need that. I mean, they shouldn't,
Yeah.
it's no different than a person building a house and.
Yeah.
And they gotta pay the fees. Why shouldn't they? Same idea.
Yeah. All right. Get on it. Anything else?
Oh, Megan's trying to get on.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Is
Said a couple times.
Jeff Gephardt?
Nope.
Nope. How about you? Got any grant updates?
I have a couple, yep. We received the reimbursement for the rec facilities for the skate space project. It was a $15,000 grant and we received that. The end of December. And then also the end of December, we received reimbursement for the park tree grant for $3,411. So those two grants have been closed on our end.
Well, and back on to the we did approve well, we signed the purchase and sales agreement for the unit the reuse project, and we got you guys any other updates?
Yeah, a few things, and I'll stand so Martha can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of things. So Catherine had alluded, we have the principal architect with the architecture firm Kelly DeRush has been continuing to work with the tenants on the design of their space. So that's the child care center, physical therapy practice and offices and other things. The work is continuing to sort and evaluate the contents of the building. And the plan is to work with Jamie Canarney in February to get rid of stuff that's truly junk and broken down furniture and really no use. Items that are useful to the tenants of the building will be retained for their usage. And then other stuff that has potential value. We're planning to have a community tag sale, maybe in March, and invite people to come in and, you know, if they want some chairs or bookcases or things of that nature. And what we'd like to do is, with the proceeds of that, contribute that towards the building itself. So if that's okay with us, I'd like to be able to do that. And
Seems logical. Yeah.
I have my payment for 2 plaques that I,
okay.
sports plaques.
We have been planning for a capital fundraising campaign for the capital cost of the building renovation and to accompany the grants. But this is a donation program. We're not ready to announce details on that yet, but the planning is underway for that, which we'll expect to take place fairly soon. Maureen Young, who is heading the child care development team, they have decided to sponsor an updated survey needs assessment in the community in the Valley. We did it a few years ago. It's time to do it again. Get a little more specific about ages, time of day, that sort of thing, days a week, et cetera. And they're also going to create and issue a request for proposal for an operator of the child care service. Valley Hub Inc. is not to be the operator. We're looking for private entities to come in and do that. And as I think Catherine might have mentioned earlier, we did receive notice that all requirements for the floodplain have been met, and been a long time coming, and yes, so very happy about that. Anything else you want to mention?
It just seems like there's never end to the meetings, but it does feel like everything is moving along. And I have faith in the people that we're working with. We've got a great board now, 12 people. And aside from feeling fatigued,
Seems like I have one tomorrow.
pardon?
Seems like we have a meeting tomorrow,
So
I think.
Sure. The meeting's-
Sometime this week.
Well, that's our report.
There's a VHI meeting Thursday.
I have high school Zoom meeting 3:30.
Thank you, Vic and Catherine. And
Thank you.
good night.
you're talking Jamie's meeting,
Yeah,
right?
that's high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it.
In terms of, I don't know if this is old business or side business, just before the meeting, I got an email from Angus McCusker, who is very involved with the Ridgeline Outdoor Collective, asking about the no overnight parking sign in the park and ride, and wondering if that is a policy when that was set, because a lot of times in park and ride, you would assume that that's a spot where you could park and leave your car if you're going somewhere and you need to. So I'm not sure when that got put up or
Is this the one down here?
yeah, the one right there across from the fire station. Yeah.
Is it possibly
Never
similar
know.
to what's out here, which is for plowing purposes?
For plowing purposes, it could be, but that's a pretty, you know,
You let him go
No.
too quickly.
let them go
We
too
don't
quick.
plow that.
You don't plow down there?
No,
No.
John does.
So you would think that's the situation where you can plow as, you know, accessible and when, but it seems that that's contrary to the purpose of a park and ride.
I guess we have to find out who put the sign up.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Green Mountain Power, the state, the town,
yeah. I don't think.
the neighbors. Somebody put it up.
You could put overnight parking only for charging cars.
Yeah, right. Sometimes they take that long, yeah. All right, I guess we'll do a little more research on that, but I just thought I'd bring it up since it
Mhm.
came on across my
So is
intention.
this to Ridgeline, do they, for the volunteers that are working on?
Not necessarily, no, but it's someone that was there. They have there's the part of the green loop, which is the first like connective loop that they're advertising that'll go from Rochester to Pittsfield and back. And there's a hut in the middle and Chittenden Brook Hut. So people would be out at night and come back. And so that's that would be
We probably do need more parking.
no, that's for
Because we've
sure.
got-
Yeah,
Become a destination.
yeah,
In
yeah.
addition to the Forest Service, that's the
Yeah.
one spot that can be overnight parking, correct?
I don't know that. I don't know it. But anyway, I guess we'll dig into that a little deeper and see. I know I've had quite a few people park in my backyard in the summer for that, but
Mhm,
and some.
mhm.
What about down by the tennis courts, like the ball field area? Is there? Well, obviously we have to be aware of the property line down there, but
Right.
is that kind of listed as an acceptable area for recreation?
It is,
Parking overnight,
but it's not recommended for overnight parking, but for
Okay.
like day use, a lot of people
Man.
do park down there.
I know it's kind of out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind for most people, but
Yeah,
We'll have
Taking
to
a risk as
prepare
well.
for
yeah,
a larger recreational crowd
Right.
Yeah.
each year.
yeah. I mean, in the summertime, where they store the plows behind the fire station, that is actually kind of access into the park, the new park up there, and rather have people, definitely don't need people parking out in front, you know. But,
No, and no one on the side either.
No.
We need a place to park.
yeah, yes. Anyway, I guess that will be to be continued.
I'd like to say that the select board attended a seminar information meeting about ground source geothermal heating systems. There was a point towards the high school building, but this particular company is interested in doing it on a municipal level. this would be years out, but it was very informational and somewhat interesting. In addition to groundwater, they could also tap into what I'm going to call gray water from the sewer system to add additional heat to the water as it travels around. So what they were talking about sounded pretty intriguing as we go forward. And if it does something that does make sense for the high school, this company's interested in expanding throughout the village. Whether it could take place or not, yet to be seen, but it was an interesting
very
seminar,
interesting. Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
They ended up asking us more questions than we asked them, I think, but.
Is that Jeff's meeting or is this yet another meeting?
Is yet another, no, it was Jeff's meeting.
Jeff's meeting.
It was Jeff's
So I
meeting.
watched that YouTube. I
Mhm.
wasn't able to go to the meeting, but so it's good to hear your response to it.
Yeah, it was very interesting, actually.
We pointed that out to the engineer that came to the kickoff meeting on the 16th, that was a dream. And so he knows that we want to know what the potential for that is. It sounds like basically it means just digging a deeper well. And Chad said that there's no issue with water flow because Jeff had said maybe that would be the only thing that he thought was actually could be a problem. And then you said at our last meeting that you didn't think that was going to be a problem from some other experience you had.
Yeah, just from my experiences, it doesn't mean that particular spot's gonna be a great place to drill.
They'd have to
but,
do a test.
yeah,
Yeah.
they would have to go down. I think they were saying somewhere in the range of 500 feet or so, to see about the flow and availability of bedrock and such things that actually will store that energy.
Yeah.
So,
I know, and Larry is on the board of the Park House, which is coming up upon a need for a new boiler.
Yep.
And that would be
We're exploring all options.
exploring all options. Yeah.
Exploring, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think his name is Dan Dupre. Is that the engineer's name?
Yeah.
Dan Dupre.
No, it's very interesting. There's no obviously no fossil fuels involved. Well, there's the only energy involved would be after it's built is to run pumps, and that's that's kind of eclipses all the cool pellet systems that are out there that are
No, because they can also contribute.
they can contribute. Yeah, it's he was very clear that it not only would it be these deep wells that are tapping the heat in the earth and distributing it, but they can pick up more heat en route, and different buildings can contribute in different ways. Whether it's you said treatment plants are definitely have a lot of heat. He was intrigued to know that we have a septic system and not a treatment plant here, but I mean, you look at the heat that comes out of the laundromat every day. It's interesting. Yeah. I guess that's I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. Should be
It's
considered
over the horizon.
big time. But since all this this kind of ties right in with some of the thoughts that have been put forth for the high school meeting, so yeah. And one of the interesting points he made was they could take solar panels and run heat exchangers off the back of the solar panels, which will serve to cool the panels, which keeps them more efficient.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting if you're going to have a panel, but so anyway.
So, one of the things that we had sort of thrown around was actually creating a new planning grant to put money in that exploration. So that would be another conversation, but if this is something that the town wants to explore, then starting with a planning grant, right? Like we did with our fair weather, might be something that would consider. And we have Drew Hudson on the board now, and you know, his background with DPERG and, you know, and he writes a lot of grants.
Mhm. I mean, it was difficult to tie them down to a number. They hesitated, but they eventually threw out a number of 500,000 for that system. And just the monitoring wells or the exploration was like $30,000.
Yeah,
Per-
Cassie said a test well, roughly, he was hesitant to throw it. No, he said 25 to 35 to drill a 500-foot deep hole in the ground.
And Jeff has also proven himself to be a successful grant writer.
Yes.
So,
I have, I don't know, it kind of relates to it, but when I was visiting my last trip around visiting family and friends, a friend of mine in Evanston, Illinois, which is kind of on the same, definitely different geology. It's right on outside of Lake Michigan, but he hired a gang from Texas to come up and drill a well in his backyard in a little brownstone postage stamp, lot in the middle of the town, and put in one of these wells and then dedicated a room to his house to him. And he's been running off of it for like 10, 15 years and just happy as a clam.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
yeah,
Then he
I
thought-
have friends who went geothermal in Massachusetts and they said they'd never go back, that it's fabulous.
Okay,
It's there. Wow.
that's,
We got any other public comment and people on Zoom?
No hands, I think they're all set.
Well, I've got a public comment. I think that after this is my 18th year being on the select board, I'm not going to run again this year. So anybody out there that has got a burning desire to sit up here and talk to the world through Zoom and now and everyone, go for it.
Can you be bribed or no?
I've
You're gonna be
twisted it
proud.
on
Well,
every
you have
direction
it.
possible.
Or just placed back.
Yeah.
Right, like,
Yeah.
if we just put your name back in the town report for one more time.
That's what happened last time. I said, well, you can go for 1 year and then you can quit halfway through, right? That was, and then here it is, 3 years later.
Yeah, we got you convinced.
Yeah. But I was thinking it was only 15 years, and Nancy looked it up and it's 18. That's kind of, it's.
Should stay for at least 20.
Yeah, imagine what 21 would look like.
That's more than you spent in school.
Yeah, it is more than I spent in school. I think I learned more too. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm definitely, will still be active and.
Yeah, we're gonna put him on
Around.
all the committees there
Oh,
is.
right, thank you. But it's been great. I remember when I first came on, sitting over there like you, just kind of like keeping my mouth shut and my ears open, and trying to learn as you go. And it's much more complicated now than it was actually. But,
Well, we appreciate you and everything you've
Yeah.
done.
well, I appreciate you all.
Yep.
Thank you.
He'll be around for town meeting.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll be around. We got some.
Well, this was the announcement of one.
Yeah, no, this is, we got a few more meetings to cause some ruckus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anything else? I think that's it. We're going to move into executive session. We're gonna,
Just a
Larry.
quick, very brief
Yep.
comment it'd be the Park House.
Yeah.
The Park House is doing really well. They've really pulled things together there over the past year. And for the first time, I believe in the history of the building and the project, all units are fully rented.
And there's a waiting list too.
Well, there usually is.
There usually
The thing
is.
about waiting lists is when you actually start, when it's the moment to call, you need 20 people to find one that says,
Oh,
okay, I'm
okay,
ready now. So that's different. But we have 16 rooms and they're all rented.
Mhm.
And that tells us something, that we're at full capacity, and we do have a list at any moment. We're beginning to, the board, I'm speaking on the board here. We have agreed in principle that it's time to start looking for an expansion plan.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to kind of just put it out there because there's nothing cohesive. But if there
Huntington
was-
House is
You
for
have that
sale.
lot right next door.
we do own the lot right
Right.
behind it, yes.
And
And then,
Erna Brusso's
and
house,
then Ginny's, right?
really up for sale.
Well, and I'm just letting you know, we're exploring options, maybe something we could talk about later. That's it, thank you. We see that the need for affordable, housing will not go away.
No, it won't, it won't.
The next CDS possibility, the congressionally directed spending.
So I move to adjourn this meeting, and then we're going to go into executive session to talk about the Valley Hub real estate a little bit.
So-
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.